Hi, my name is Lindy from Project Portfolio Office. So in PPO, we have various field types, one of them being custom list type fields. So in this video, I'm going to cover everything that a PPO administrator needs to know when administering custom lists in PPO. So to start off with, there are two types of custom list fields that a person can use. So the first being a single custom list field. So I'm just going to use the project entity to demonstrate that. So you would use a custom list single for something like phase, which is a one-to-one relationship. The project can only be in one phase. Another example would be a project that could support multiple strategic objectives. In that case, we'll allow for a custom list multiple select type field. So here I have the ability to add more than one custom list items when updating my records. So if you are in the PPO Administrator user group, you'll have access to the administration main menu where you'll find the custom lists option. Clicking through to that takes me to the list page. Here I have the ability to filter either on a name, whether the custom lists are sorted automatically, or whether we allow by default that users add custom list items via the front end. For demonstration purposes, I'm just going to use the cost year field to talk through a couple of items. So if I drill through to that, it takes me to the custom list view page. So at the top, I either have the option to edit this existing custom list. So I have the ability to change the name of the custom list. I can update the description, whether this list should be sorted automatically, which makes sense in this case because we are working with a year field, so it should follow after each other. If this value is not selected, we also have the ability to sort the list as we wish. And the example I'm going to use over here is the cost category field. So here you can see the sort automatically is set to no. So I then have the option to reorder this list. And if I click on reorder, I can then say I first want to show OPEX followed by CAPEX. And if I submit this, I've now changed the sort order manually to what I want it to look like on the front end when the users are capturing their costs. Next is show colors. So if this option was ticked, I would have had the ability to apply color coding to the specific custom list items. An example of that would be a priority custom list used in the data fields. So here you can see we've got a color picker where you can either capture a code or just click and select the color that you want to display. Then we have allow user access. So this is generally flagged while you're still busy during the implementation where we're still adding items to custom lists. So if that is flagged, we allow, based on user group access, users to add items to a list. Just to demonstrate that is on the decisions entity, we've allowed PPO administrators from the front end to add additional custom list items. Okay, now for the details on the custom list items itself. So just below this blue bar, I have the ability to click to add a new custom list item on an existing custom list. We provide the values for the actual drop-down in these blocks over here. We have the ability to specify a weighting. A weighting is generally used for calculations, something like a prioritization model, if that's something that you are configuring. Then we have our active and our delete options over here. So this is very important to note. So if the active flag is unticked, what would happen in the front end of PPO is if you add a new record, you will not have the option to select 2024 as an example. All of the existing data that already has values for 2024 will keep the value. You will also still be able to filter on your list and bring back all of the data referring to 2024. The only time that you won't be able to get to 2024 anymore is if you take an existing record. So I'm just quickly going to submit this. So I'm getting rid of 2024. I've made it inactive. If I were to add a new cost record and I want to select the year field, 2024 is not an option to select because I've made it inactive. I can, however, because I have data with the 2024 value, I can still filter on the 2024 option, even though it is made inactive. But where we lose our 2024 is if I were to edit a record and I remove the 2024. So yeah, I'm just going to say 2025. If I click on the drop down again, the 2024 is not an option to select. So the only difference between, let me just go into edit mode, the only difference between making a custom list item active versus delete is delete you cannot recover. Here I still have the ability to bring my 2024 back, but if I were to delete it and submit, I cannot recover that value. As a PPO administrator, you also have access to rename the actual custom list items. So I'm going to just use this cost subcategory custom list as an example. So very important to note, if you rename a custom list and there is data behind that, actual data that has that value, it will inherit the new renamed value that you provide. So it would make sense to rename something like resource cost to labor cost because it's basically the same thing. But just be careful when you start doing renaming of other items. If it's for something totally different, I'd rather suggest adding a new custom list item and making the other ones inactive if it's not applicable anymore. The last thing that I'd like to cover, in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that we have two types of custom lists when it comes to data fields. So here's just a data field edit page where I just want to demonstrate the field type. So here we have a custom list single. The example that I used was phase or status. We also have the option to add a data field, which is a custom list multiple that allows you to select multiple values. When adding a new data field and you want to link it to a custom list that does not exist on PPO yet, the first step would be to go to your custom list page, click on add, complete the information, and then once your custom list exists, then you only go to data fields to add the field because the data field needs to be linked to the specific custom list. So here I'm on my add screen. I've given my custom list a name with a description. So sort automatically we've covered. Show colors we've covered. Allow user group access the same. Now to add new values over here, I just click on the little add icon on this page. So in this example, I want to add a methodology custom list, and we are only going to have agile and waterfall. And by clicking on submit, you now have your new custom list that has been added. And then step 2 will be adding the data field and linking this custom list to it. I hope you found this video valuable. Thank you very much for watching.